But we're going to take the time to, if we go down our program here, do some individual recognition for our freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. We have some individual awards on which these wrestlers voted. We'll recognize our seniors. They may have a few things to say, and then we've got a lot of stuff that the Booster Club's going to present. So the thing is, I don't have to coach wrestling. Certainly, there's a part of me that like I have to be a part of this sport. I would miss it if I didn't, but I get to, and it's a privilege. And this year marked my 15th season working with this program. I wrestled here, so it means a lot to be here on this night, especially. You know, when the season starts 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, it seems like it's never going to end, and then it does. And you sort of think, like, where did those 4 months go? And here we are tonight, honestly the best night of the season. It's just a total love fest, and we get to recognize everything that we've accomplished this season and send off our seniors. So first, I'm going to be individually introducing the freshmen. When you come on up, we've got certificates. Some of our freshmen are earning letters this year. We'll just say a few quick words and recognize these folks. First, earning his varsity letter and putting together probably the most successful varsity campaign. He's got a lot to prove next season when he competes at the divisional as a sophomore, and that's Carter Anderson. Also another freshman earning his varsity letter. There were so many times where we turned to this wrestler, and we always talk about being the next person up, being the next person ready. You know, wrestling's very different. It's you know, we don't have a separate like JV football practice or freshman football practice. We're all in the same room beating each other up, and people get sick, people get hurt, people miss weight more often than we care to say. But more than anything, we were able to turn to this wrestler and just say, "You're the guy. All right, coach, send me out there." Very consistent, put together a great freshman campaign. That's Malcolm. Again, big freshman in our big freshman class here, but this kid came out as a first year, never wrestled before, and just soaked it up. And at first, it felt like, you know, this could be tough. He didn't know his left hand from his right hand, stuck with it, asked all the great questions, stuck around for an extra 3 weeks after the season officially ended, and just is already started off season and determined to return as a sophomore and do some damage, and that's Braden.
We don't even know our names yet.
This next athlete is a dual sport athlete. Maybe the winter he's going to decide he's just a wrestler and then be fast in the spring, but he does it all and he does it as hard as he can. And you know, despite injuries, showed up and was a contributing member. If nothing else, not on the mat, just vibes in the room, and that's Austin Cassidy. This next freshman, at the beginning of the season, again, he was one that's like, I'm going to stuff in a locker and might not let him out, might not make it to the end of the season, but showed up consistently, asked all the right questions, and was real tough, and looking forward to seeing what he does next year, and that's Micah Dodds. I don't know if he's here tonight, but once he figures out wrestling is not karate and he stops trying to poke people's eyes and chop them and club them in the back of the head, and it's not a street fight, it's a wrestling match, he's going to win some matches next year, and that's Joey Helmer. We'll give him a round of applause. Also earning their varsity letter as a freshman, this kid is, I know his first sport is baseball. He's a baseball player, and he protested that vehemently. But once he figured out he's actually a wrestler, he's going to do a lot of damage because he stacked up a lot of wins this season and was the guy for us at 106. Chase Eno. our most consistent freshman in terms of showing up, working hard, punching in, punching out, sticking around for a couple extra weeks, asking all the right questions, and consistently showing consistent growth all season. And we recognize it the first week. We do our preseason. We recognize our wrestler of the week, and this is the first kid that came to mind. And he's continuing to grow. Again, he's already working in his off season, and that's Luke Iamon. Another wrestler who dealt with injury, so when he finally returned on the mat, we're not actually sure what this kid can do. It felt like it was for so long at the beginning of the season, and it's because he was working so hard, he ran into a wall and injured his arm. That's how hard he was grinding it out on sprints in the hallway, but stuck around for a couple extra weeks. He's already working in the off season, and when we finally let him out of the cage after his injury, he was out to kill. And looking forward to his sophomore season. Justin Foss. Again, we talk about next man up often. We're shuffling people in and out of the lineup, illness, injury. More than anyone, this wrestler always came back to practice the next day. It's not, what can I get better at? That's, everyone wants to get better. But this wrestler was always like, oh, I noticed this, I watched my match, I saw this, I saw that, I know I need to work on this, and really ask those specific questions to get better, and that's Brandon Jenner. And once more, I don't think this wrestler is here tonight, but I want to take a moment to honor him. Dealt with illness a lot this season. I know he's going to come back his sophomore year tough and ready to go, and that's Owen Howard. I mean this in the best way possible. This next wrestler is everybody's little brother, and our entire team rallies around him and boosts him up. And again, dealt with illness and injury this season, but once we let him out of the cage sophomore year, he's going to do some damage, and that's Aiden Kennedy. Perhaps the unofficial mascot of Merrimack Wrestling. Next freshman earning their varsity letter was once more newer to the sport, and we asked a lot of this wrestler to go out on long weekends, tough nights in a tough weight class, and always gave it their best, and that's Connor Marshall. Also in and out of the lineup this season, serving for us in various capacities when illness, injury, moving several weight classes, and doing a great job is going to return in his sophomore campaign and really do some damage, and that's Kel McClure. Next, I haven't heard this wrestler utter more than 4 syllables in one time. When he finally says something, it's going to be profound, but he doesn't need to say much because when he goes out on the mat, he just does work, and that's Amir Sam. And finally, I guess, I said Aiden was our unofficial mascot, and I do mean that, but sustained an injury early on because he just loves wrestling and couldn't get enough at the high school practice, wanted to go down to the middle school and work with those kids as well. And sustained an injury early in the season, but I think since then never missed a practice, was really one of the best teammates we have on this team, and that's Cooper.
He's such a sweetheart. He's a good kid.
And you saw in the video 4 months ago in October, November, these were just boys. These were boys on this team. And we had a lot of freshmen this year, and I look at them now, and there's young men in the room. And, we've got a lot of youth to build on, and it's really exciting. So just a round of applause for our freshmen.
Recognizing some of the sophomores. So the first one is easily one of the hardest working kids in the room, day in and day out. He'll also fill in at whatever weight class really we ask him to. He'll go out there no matter what, and that's Sean Gender. Our next kid probably has the biggest highlight of the year. I think everyone would probably agree. That was a big win against Manchester West, and that would be Tyler Hanbury. This next kid is also a man of very few words, and it's his first year, and I still don't believe it sometimes, but he went out there and he was a man on fire every match, and that's Landon Schultz. Round of applause for the sophomores.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Fabulous.
So I was entitled of delivering the juniors. Starting off so strong. This person comes in very good. They're a leader. Usually when you think of leader, you don't think of a junior. But this person comes in day in and day out, does what they need to do in the weight room and in the wrestling room. That person's Connor Seaball.
A lot of Connors and Coopers.
Yes.
A lot of Connors and Coopers. Yes.
Next junior, you can probably guess who it is. You can always count on her to go out, take someone's head off. Little Tank, come to mind. Trying to pronounce the name. Avery Berardinelli.
So in addition to her cert, which we get to all of our wrestlers to recognize their efforts, also we have a certificate of participation at the New England tournament. Avery qualified for the first New England tournament, went down there and tried to just headlock every girl in her path. Just went out and tried to rip these girls' heads off, and it was a lot of fun to watch her. And there's a pin there for the New England tournament there as well. So congratulations, Avery.
Yeah, Avery!
So next we're going to recognize our seniors, and as a staff, for many years, I think every coach that's come through, my head coach, he gave lyrics to a song. We used to give out these books. Coach McMahon gave these coins. So everyone has something a little bit different we'd like to impart to our seniors just as a staff. And the thing that we finally settled on a number of years ago that we really like is we call it their last piece of hardware. And with this, everyone comes in with the intention of being a state champ and achieving all their goals. And that's not always possible. Sometimes we fall short, right? But the one thing that wrestling does impart to you is teamwork and discipline and ethics. So, independent of what you do out on the mat, what you take with you into the rest of your life, I don't think there's another sport that gives you as much as wrestling does. So whether you reached the podium or not, you ended up where you didn't, this is your last piece of hardware, perhaps the most important. And on the back, we've got that pretty famous quote from Dan Gable. It says, once you've wrestled, everything else in life is easy. And then it's got the wrestler in their weight class and year. So in addition to their certs that we'll be handing out, we'll be presenting their last piece of hardware as well.
How you doing? Coach Zach Hicks.
Hi, Zach.
It's my third year here. I've had the privilege of coaching these seniors for all 3 years that I've been here. They've showed a lot of growth, very respectful, love these kids. Our first senior, two-time state champ, my first New England place winner. Battled real hard throughout her entire career with injury and came out on top. Emily Angela.
The most important one. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Em. There's more.
Yeah, over there.
This next wrestler didn't know much. Well, can't say that. He was very nice when he came in, and by his senior year, he was very mean, clubbing kids, beating them up. You know, we didn't have the finish that we wanted to, but it is what it is, and I'm real proud of you, Brendan Curley. This next senior, finally, hopefully I can say his name correctly, but really had the best cradle in the room, would hit it from anywhere, that suicide cradle. It was a lot of fun to watch. Grant Deschanel.
Give it to Kurt.
This next wrestler, I've never seen anybody fight off their back like this in my entire life. It was completely crazy. A lot of fun to watch, very exciting. Real hard worker, Mitchell Krupp. This next wrestler probably was one of the nicest kids on the team. Us coaches had to yell at him to stop saying sorry. Worked very hard, had to learn to mean Russian. Tyler Rubble.
Earning his varsity letter as well, became our heavyweight exactly when we needed him.
Last but not least, first year wrestler, came in every day, worked their butt off, you know, battled injuries, but still kind of stuck with it. Kareem, I got this. Alpha Key. Thank you, seniors. It's been a privilege.
A round of applause for all of our seniors. Hey, don't worry, we'll be inviting you back up, all right? Yeah, I'm looking at the program now. We skipped ahead to our seniors, but we're gonna get them back up here. I know the boosters wanna recognize them, and we'll give them a chance to say some words if that's what they want to do as well. So in addition to our athlete recognition, we have a number of awards on which the team votes individually. So we don't have a lot to say in this. And we'd like to recognize 4 areas: our Ironman Award, our Most Improved, our OW, and our Tomahawk Award. And Coach Shimada is going to present our Ironman Award.
What's up, guys? I'm back.
Yeah.
All right, so this kid, I love this kid so much. He comes in, doesn't say a word. He's a great kid. Just does what he needs to do. Got the earbuds on in the weight room. I try to squeeze some words out of him. Sometimes he talks to me. He comes up short just a little bit, and I'm excited to see what he can do once he puts it all together next year. And that's Sean Jedrin. Varsity Ironman Award.
going to be doing the most improved. Like I said before, very quiet kid, first year. But truly, if he sticks with it and does off season and keeps working as hard as he did this year, I think he could be state champ by his senior year or even next year. This Landon Schultz.
Yes.
Next award goes to the outstanding wrestler who honestly had a heck of a career and a hell of a season. Two-time state champ, 5th in New England, Emily Angelo. Last but not least,
Finally is our Tomahawk Award, and the way we explain this to our wrestlers is who is the first person you think of when you think of Merrimack Wrestling as the face of Merrimack Wrestling on the mat, off the mat, and just all around. This person is Merrimack Wrestling, and this year is voted on by his teammates. That's Brandon Curley.
Yes.
They got your medal right. I don't know how they messed up the flag. Yeah. Do we want to do boosters first or seniors first? Invite these kids back up. Okay. Seniors, this is your chance. All right. If you have any words that you'd like to say, talk about your career here. The mic is here for you. All right.
Yeah, she's like, I want to enjoy it.
Let's hear for Emily.
That is true. She can't focus on two things at once.
Okay. Hi. Okay. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I just kind of wrote something. The last 4 years on this team have been unforgettable. When I was first moving to New Hampshire, I was really scared about leaving my old team and having to join a new one. We toured a lot of schools, but we ultimately ended up here at Merrimack, and I can confidently say that this is the best team that I could have ended up on, and I wouldn't trade it for any other team. In fact, the only reason I'm standing up here right now is because of them, because I had no intention on returning my junior year until I had multiple of them, some more aggressively than others, come up to me, begging me to not quit and stay on the team. Because of that, I'm here. As you know, I've battled a lot of injuries throughout my 4 years, so much so that when someone gets hurt, they literally refer to it as pulling an Emily. I won't forget the time that Mitch dislocated his knee, and I asked him if he was okay, and he just said, I pulled a U. These injuries made it really hard for me to want to continue, and I started to lose my why. I started questioning why I was even showing up anymore, but the support of my teammates, coaches, family, and my grandma offering me money every time I won a self-match or tournament, I was able to end my high school career with 2 state titles. And although I'm leaving, I've made the most out of the 4 years. As for the freshmen, I encourage none of you guys to give up on this sport because it has a lot to give as you improve and grow. If the seniors can make it through having to wear masks and for whatever reason not being able to shake hands with our opponents before wrestling with them for 6 minutes, you guys can do it, I promise. Just embrace it in the moment because even though the 14-hour-long tournaments seem like the worst experience ever, you will make memories and friends along the way that you will never forget. With that being said, I want to say a couple thank yous. The biggest, obviously, to my mom for sitting with me at tournaments for hours, like hours, to watch me wrestle, even if it's just a match or two, driving in terrible weather conditions just so I could wrestle. She's never once left my side, and she's dedicated her life to me in this sport. As for my dad, I know you couldn't come to a lot of my matches, but when you could, you would. Your bedtime is at 6 p.m., and every time we had a home meet, I would see you in the bleachers at 7 p.m. when we would run out to start. Special thank you to my brother, as he's the reason I'm standing here right now. Had it not been for you deciding to wrestle and me following in your footsteps, I wouldn't be half the person that I am now. I also wanted to thank my grandma, who actually traveled to New Hampshire. She's here today. She's kept me motivated throughout the years by bribing me with money to win tournaments. In all seriousness though, she's super supportive. She's always been supportive, and even though she lives in a completely different state, she still makes it a priority to watch all of my matches. Thank you to my amazing teammates who have helped and encouraged me so much along the way. When I started to lose my passion, you never failed to snap me back to reality and remind me that I wouldn't want to dedicate my life to anything else. Special thank you to Avery for keeping me sane and saving me from being all alone on a team of high school boys. Having someone to relate to and train with was truly a saving grace. Thank you to the Booster Club for giving so much of their time and helping us plan and pay for so much events. They do a lot for our team, so thank you to them. Lastly, thank you to the coaches who have been there since day one. Dom, I'll never forget the time you made me laugh in my quarterfinals match, or how often you yelled at me in the weight room for not going up in weight. Terrio, I'll never forget the time you sat through a tournament with me on your girlfriend's birthday just to have me not wrestle until 4 p.m. and then only wrestle twice. As for Zach, I know that my inability to move on bottom drove you insane, but luckily for you and me both, I won't have that problem next year, as I will not be having to move on bottom. Dine, though I did get out of moving on bottom, unfortunately I did not get out of having to move my feet in my stance. So I'll always hear you say move your feet when I'm in college. One thing you said to me was wrestle to win and don't wrestle not to lose. Those words have stuck with me throughout high school and will continue to stick with me throughout my college career. You have taught me a lot over the last couple years, both on and off the mat, and you have all taught me a lot over the last couple years. And I truly wish the best for you and this team in the future.
She did.
Hello. Mine isn't going to be as long as that. So first off, thank you all for coming, and thank you for the presentation. It's also kind of bittersweet because I've grown up around wrestling. I can't remember a time where I wasn't wrestling. So all of this coming to a head is kind of bittersweet for me. First and foremost, I'd like to express my thanks to my family, my mom, dad, my grandparents, for always showing up to all my tournaments, all my dual meets, staying there for hours on the bleachers, just waiting to do a whole, maybe 12 minutes max of wrestling. And always supporting me, especially for the off-season training at Doughboys, as well as encouraging me. There were times where it wasn't always easy to continue wrestling, especially during COVID, where we might not have even had a freshman year for us. But we stuck with it, and I'm glad that I did. And I'd like to thank the high school coaches right here, and I'd like to thank a couple of other coaches, the youth coaches from the youth program, the middle school, and particularly, I'd like to thank Coach Mike Hanning. He was one of my first coaches. He was, from day one, his son was in the program, and he took a liking to me, and he was always coached by my side. Even now, I can hear his voice when I'm in my wrestling matches. And one story that he always likes to tell is that my first tournament, I believe I was in my state tournament, I go on the mat, shake hands, whistle blows, get pinned in maybe 20 seconds. I was very, very mad. I was just a roly-poly. And at the end, I get up, take off my ankle, and shake the guy's hand. I skip over to the other coach's hands, and I skip back. And as I look up, Coach Hanning's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and I have the biggest smile on my face. And that really hasn't changed much over the years. And I would like to thank you guys particularly for your dedication on and off the mat, getting day to day, and helping out in class when you need and off the mat. And I'd also like to thank my teammates for always supporting me, especially this year during my injuries. You've always supported me and helped me through those and getting me back on the mat and encouraging me. There are 3 wrestlers that I'd particularly like to thank. 2 of them were previous wrestlers and one of them is the current one. Two of the wrestlers are Anson Dewar and Aiden Hanning. And Hanning is Mike Hanning's son, and those two, Anson Dewar and Aiden Hanning, were my first inspirations. They were like the senior class at the time when I started, and they were always encouraging me and pushing me to be better. And now they're off in college wrestling, and I hope to do that at UNH. And I'd like to thank Brendan Curley for being probably one of the toughest kids that have to wrestle on the mat. Like, during practice, you were the one that always pushed me, even all the way back to middle school, because we were always the polar opposites. You'd always be the most defensive wrestler in the room, and I'd always try and just hold on to that leg for the entire minute. And as I reflect on the season, I'm thankful for everyone who did support me throughout my journey. And to the freshmen, stick with it. It takes nothing at all to quit. And quit while you're ahead, quit while you're down. It takes nothing to do that. It takes effort and it takes discipline to stick with it. And you will get the reward. There's always going to be something that you can do. There's always going to be some school event that you want to go to, some party. But sitting or just working out in the wrestling room, in the workout room, it's worth it. And you'll come to find that later in life. Thank you.
It's an honor to address you tonight as one of the team captains. Together, we've conquered challenges, celebrated victories, and forged bonds that will last a lifetime. Let's cherish these memories we've created and carry the lessons we learned into our future. Thank you all for your dedication and commitment to our team and success. Thank you.
My turn. It's been a pretty crazy 4 years. There's been good times, there's been bad times. Obviously this year didn't quite end the way I hoped to. You know, I've had more issues with injuries and sickness this year than I ever have before. So, I guess in that sense, maybe it's a good thing that, you know, my wrestling career is ending when it isn't. You know, get out before my body breaks down. But it's tough on the knees, but yeah, I'm just happy that you know, I kind of had a little scare at the end of the year. I had some issues with I got really sick at the end of the year. I'm just thankful that, you know, everything's going to turn out all right. It's not going to hinder my future plans post high school. Anyway, this past year was probably my favorite year of wrestling, which, you know, may seem a little strange. Given our team's, you know, success in dual meets and whatnot. Dual meets, tournaments, the team score was admittedly a little bit of a challenge this year. Let's be honest. The real highlight of the year came from, I think it's like 17, 18 of all these like newer wrestlers, freshmen, first year sophomores, just new underclassmen in general. And they were really the highlight of the year. Some of them coming up in the middle school and new to high school wrestling. Some of them completely new to wrestling, just completely. And it was a breath of fresh air. I mean, our junior class is 2 wrestlers, our sophomore class is 3, and well, there's more now, but because we got like Landon and Justin. But anyway, the incoming freshman classes were like 2 or 3 kids the past couple of years. And this year it was like 17, which is ridiculous and awesome. And I just want to say thank you to all you guys for being here, showing up, working hard every day, being motivated to get better. Because whether you guys realize it or not, it helps motivate us to get better, us as the upperclassmen. And it's just awesome to see like how great of a future you guys have as a team. Like, again, this is just full of like raw talent, athleticism. You guys are going to be great. And yeah, just again, thank you for all the newer wrestlers for making this year so awesome.
I hope that I was the senior leader that you guys needed to enjoy the year, get you guys coming back next year, you know, get you guys fall in love with the sport the way we all did, you know, when we were younger. So that's mostly what I wanted to say. Special thanks to my parents for coming to everything, being on the board, hosting all the Booster Club meetings, you know, helping enable me, you know, do what I love, do what I want to do. Thanks to my sister Nora for taking all those videos, getting us filmed in that awesome video that she played at the beginning of the night. Thank you to Coach Dime for being a great head coach these past 4 years and teaching me lots of prepositions. Thank you to Coach Zach for all the work you've done with me individually, especially last year at the end of the postseason when like Cooper was hurt or you know, jumping in to practice with me when Cooper was hurt or falling asleep and not coming to practice. It was incredibly beneficial. Thanks to Dom for our awesome lifting program. Dom's been a great strength and conditioning coach. I know I give him a little bit of a hard time sometimes, but I appreciate you. And special thanks to Terrio, first year on like full time as a coach, killed it this year. It was awesome. Absolute bro. All right, I think that's all I got. Thank you for listening to me ramble.
Well said, well said. Another round of applause for our seniors. Next, I want to invite up our Booster Club. They have a number of presentations they'd like to do. So, Booster Club, take it away.